Kristen thinks she got COVID from the roast. She said, answer me this. I ordered the roast of Geno yesterday. Today I'm sick with COVID. Coincidence? I think not.
I think your sides are just splitting, and you're confusing COVID with just a searing pain of laughter. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chrissie. And thank you, Kristen, for ordering that. We had a lot of fun with that.
I didn't go to the roast. I was not invited. Was I feeling salty? A little, but I got over it.
You were invited, weren't you?
No, I was not invited.
Everyone was invited. I mean, even if you weren't on the dais, but I think they thought Alex would be better on the dais, even though you knew she wasn't going to show up.
Were you close friends with Alex?
No.
I mean, Allie?
Oh, Allie Breen. Yeah, I used to do the Artie Quitter podcast with Allie Breen. So we had a lot of jokes. I said Artie doesn't do anything halfway except blow his nose. I was pretty pleased with that.
That's great. Yeah, I heard it was really funny. I really, truly have been hearing from many people that nobody bombed, which is so rare in a roast. There's always at least one.
It's so rare in a fucking Comedy Central roast because they, you know, they put on people that don't know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And could you imagine, Chrissie, being somebody that thinks if you go outside after you're over COVID, you're irresponsible? Could you imagine being someone that is so woke they lost their job in radio because they're white and they're sending me messages right now calling me irresponsible? Could you imagine being that much of a terrified human being?
Who are you talking about?
Doesn't matter. I just got it. It's just, but that's what it's like. You said it perfectly. You live in fear. And the bottom line is, they've got people convinced that, no, herd immunity is not getting sick and walking around with antibodies. Herd immunity is getting a vaccine that I'm sorry, violates the Nuremberg Code. It does.
And it isn't technically, well, we all know the obvious point. Yeah. It's not technically what they're saying it is. But the point is like the mandates are bogus. And I was upset that you guys ultimately did it at Stand Up New York because they did require vax papers. I would have wished in a perfect world, I wish that you could have done it at a place that didn't require that of the audience members.
But see, this is, and we talked about this, and I adore you, and this is where we differ. One, you just saw this fucking, God forgive me, Rogan just canceled a gig in Vancouver. He said, I don't even think I could get, and that's a guy that sells out clubs, but the best I can do is subvert it. You know, we literally did roast jokes making fun of how, look, I can say this, Donnie doesn't care. It's like how no one cares about the vaccine mandates. All they say is, do you have proof of vaccination? And one of the jokes I said was, I'm not saying Donnie doesn't care if it's a legit vax card, but I handed him a piece of paper that said the word ta-da on it. And that's really the way I look at it.
But you know? Okay, and I understand that, and I know us comics and the close fans of Compound Media probably knew that they could get in there,
sure,
with a ta-da card. But
thank you. That's funny.
Do you think it's possible that there were people at that show, or people who saw the show and are not in our close circle and thought, oh man, I really want to go, but I'm not vaccinated, so shit, this makes me feel bad.
I do, and that's a great point, but if you're in our circle, you need to realize, we don't care. If you're really afraid of going, if you're afraid of getting caught or just don't want to go out of your way to get a card, that's fine. But my look at it is, I will not be bullied. You know, and by the way, we talked about this. I haven't done a show at any of these clubs, and not like they're begging me to, but they know I'm not vaccinated.
You would have popped up at the stand, just like I would have popped up at the stand.
But I'm not sending avails to them. I'm not sending them avails because they know I'm not vaxxed. I don't go there out of respect to them because they were good to me when I was coming up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be where I am in comedy, which is who knows where, if I didn't do the clubs before. But now, thank God, and you're in the same, thank God we don't need them because we've created a brand for ourselves where we can go anywhere. But if you're telling me that I can do, if I do a birthday roast at the first club that ever passed me and they know I'm not vaccinated.
You felt and sentimental towards the stand, towards Stand Up New York.
I did, but I also, I can't, I get what you're doing, but I also just want to make a mockery of these people that sit there. When Governor Hochul, whatever that cunt is, says, yeah, and it's illegal to have fake cards, and we're going to find a way to verify. No, they're not, because a club will not sit there. Let me ask you, do you think someone at Stand Up New York or New York Comedy Club, although who knows with them, but Stand Up New York or any bar is going to look at a fucking card? It's like when you had a fake ID.
Okay, so I've never tried to go to a restaurant. I've only gone into delis and like Dunkin' Donuts, and they don't ask. And I'm fully prepared any place I go into. If they ask for it, I'll obviously turn around and walk out. And now I'm at the point where if they ask me to put a mask on, I'm going to turn on and walk out just because I'm like extra sick of it.
Right.
But yeah, I have not. And I've been invited to a couple things, like a couple parties or whatever at the stand at the stand, over the last couple of years. And I thought, oh, will I go? And then I asked the person, like, oh, are they going to be checking papers? And like, I always ask, and then I just have ended up not going because I haven't gotten a straight, like, no, they won't. And even with, like, I was talking about this with like Kenny Warren at the Pair. I was like, hey, what do you guys think of the mandates? Are you enforcing them? And he's like, yeah, there's somebody at the door whose job it is to check them. But, you can come perform whenever you want. You're cool. You're with me. We're buds. I'll just let you in. And I was like, I pressed him a little bit. I was like, this isn't right to do. I was like, why would I perform somewhere? Like, yes, the comics maybe who perform at the Pair or wherever, no, okay, we can get in on the sly. But like the average audience member doesn't know that. And to me, I think it's hypocritical to perform somewhere that requires that of audience members who may not know there's a secret loophole. Because I just don't want to be part of the reason why people feel pressured to get this experimental injection. And then it pisses me off extra when I see somebody like Kevin Brennan, who honestly like very talented, like for some reason doesn't like me. I don't know if it's just like fake drama, so he has something to talk about.
It's
but when I see somebody like him, who I think like should be above or like better than this kind of behavior, like making fun of me or shitting on me for like standing up for freedoms and honestly his freedoms, honestly everyone's freedoms, by taking a look at what I've said and done. And being like, oh, well, what clubs was she even passed at to begin with? And it's like, okay, I could tell you. It wasn't all of them, but it was some. And just like you, haven't been putting in avails, just haven't been doing, because I don't think it's the right move. And I just think it's like, it's pretty low for someone to make fun of someone taking a stance and someone's standing up for something. And honestly, it has like nothing to do with him. Like, I don't know why that personally offends him. I don't know why he feels like he needs to like,
well, everything personally offends him.
But it's like we're not even doing that. We're not each other's competition. We're not in the same realm. We're not trying to do the same thing. So I just I like sort of don't understand like him. And to me now he's really just like a sort of a common troll, to be muted with the rest of these trolls that like are trying to stir up drama. I guess if that's fun for them and they need something to talk about, like sure, but it's unfortunate that he's got to make unnecessary. I know that's his whole thing, burning bridges, but it's like, why make an enemy out of me when I'm somebody who could probably one day help you or give you an opportunity, and now I'm not going to.
He doesn't think before he talks. He just bitches. But this is where I say this all the time with Berg. It drives him nuts. So like, no, we can both be right. Like, we look at this two different ways, and you've known me long enough to know that I don't know what I'm doing from one day to the next. I just wake up and just whatever feels right, I go with. That's how I wound up doing everything I'm doing. But when I wake up, and I said this when it first started, and Berg, he's losing patience. He's like, you're losing your mind. I'm like, no, because this has been since day one when it hit me. It's been about bullying, not more. They always say it's controlled. To me, it's bullying. It's like when that stupid fucking pig mayor in Chicago, who's so ugly, and I don't mean she's unattractive, she's a fucking pig ugly, but the way she acts is so arrogant. And when she says, yes, this is inconvenient by design, no, you're not allowed to try and bully us with your stupid laws that no one cares about. And you're just taking advantage of the people that won't stand up to it. And it's one thing to stand up like you are, without a doubt, and say, we have to start saying no. And once we all start saying no, it all goes away. And I couldn't agree with that more. But there's also a way of saying, like, look, you're full of shit and you're trying to scare us, and you don't scare me. And,
okay.
I'll get,
and so part of, I feel like I understand your mindset on this, because you're coming from a place of, I don't take these mandates seriously. I know certain businesses don't take these mandates seriously, so I'm going to have an event at a place that doesn't take it seriously, because in your mind you think that is sort of going back to normal, like sort
Chrissie,
of just bypassing.
when you were 20, when you were 18, and you showed up at a club with a fake ID, and they looked at it and like, she's hot, this is fake.
I was not hot at 18, by the way, or 20. I had braces.
You look like the mayor of Chicago, but you know exactly what I mean. Like,
I look like the mayor of Chicago. Yeah,
that's mean.
I had a real makeover.
They're like, this, like, look, this is fake, but she's gonna drink, pay money, and this I can show them, be like, I thought this was a valid ID. And and the people checking the things at the door are a hostess or something that has to go back to school on Monday. And then Hochul, again, this is insulting to me when they say, well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start matching the cards with the lot number. You're not.
This is what corporations, employers, like corporations are doing exactly this, though. They're hiring out, like, contracting out a company with the express purpose of validating people's vax cards and whatever, whether they have the key to New York or like whatever bullshit app. So I think I understand more your point. Like, so part of it was sentimentality or feeling sentimental for Stand Up New York, because they were like kind of supported you early on, and part of you
has kids he has to put through college,
and so part of you feels like you want to support him and give his club business because he supported you early on, and you also know him personally, you know he has a family, so part of you feels like, I want to help support him or give him money rather than
I want to sit there and laugh at this mandate with my friends. I want to sit in a bar and laugh at this mandate, because what else can you do? It's not gonna go away until it's not
until people stand up.
Until people stand up like you're doing, but it's also not going to go away until you say, like, I'm not getting vaccinated. No one should be getting vaccinated. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts with, okay, so half the people vaccinated now want to be, and that's great. But now with the boosters, half the people don't want the boosters. And when they do these stupid laws now more than ever, they're like, it's Mr. Burns, this will get them to, and no,